Hi, everyone. My name is Marian Pagano. I'm CEO of BlackHawk Data. I'm with Jason Caparosa, our Chief Technology Officer, and we're doing a podcast. Today's topic is managed services. Welcome, Jason.
Hello.
So my team and I have been having conversations with a lot of different customers, and I think a lot of specific questions come up. I think some of them are, so why does an organization need managed services? Why does someone who has, 100 people, 50 people, why do they need a managed services provider?
Well, I think someone realizes they need a managed service provider because they have a team, maybe internal, maybe they don't have a team, or maybe it's a person that wears a lot of different hats inside the company. But it's the ability to be able to actually keep your end users happy. And that's really where it begins. So whether it's you're spending your entire day answering help desk tickets about, simple things, maybe password resets or, file moves or things like that, or maybe it's the more complex pieces, whether it's, are these, threats that I'm getting hit with on my firewall, does it mean something? Or, do I need to update my machines, my servers, or maybe I'm moving to the cloud and I need assistance? So, there's a lot of different reasons why you would do it, but really it comes down to, are you able to function on a day-to-day basis? And how secure is your environment? When you actually look through your environment and say, well, I can say that my machines are patched, everything's up to date, we're running at 100% and my end users are happy. That's kind of the gap that managed services fills to me, is that, you want to make sure that your organization operates as efficiently as possible, but also from a security perspective, that you're whole and that everything is where it should be from an overall compliance standard.
Yeah, so for a business owner, you want not just the network to run, the wireless to run, the phones to run, but you want your people and your staff to be productive and happy without having it to burden you and whatever small staff you may or may not have.
Exactly.
Okay. So if you look at the IT space, you can look at managed services, there are a lot of providers. So why would you pick someone like BlackHawk Data over the other providers that are out there?
Well, that's actually one of the reasons that we started this managed service practice at BlackHawk Data, because we had clients that were, with larger MSPs and they had a lot of different issues with them. And the problem was there, we saw, is that you became one of the thousands of customers they had. You'd call into the help desk, nobody knew who you were, what your company did, why you were even calling them, and you got put into a queue where maybe it was something simple. Maybe your printer was broken, maybe you couldn't log in, maybe you needed a VLAN changed on a switch port or a firewall rule added. And we'd see customers sit there and wait for days for things to be answered sometimes. We had one customer where their network was down, for 3-4 days. And they weren't able to get to it. And there was no real good way to fix that without starting our own practice and saying, listen, we'll just take away the pain that you have with them. For us, everything comes in, it's not every ticket's going to be a P1, but everything is treated with importance here. It's one of those things. I tell all the guys in the NOC, it doesn't matter if it's someone that can't print or if it's an entire network offline. Everything is important because there's different reasons someone is opening a help desk ticket. Because not anybody wants to get on the phone with the help desk. And that's what I say. People aren't opening tickets for fun.
So I guess one of the other big things that come up is obviously customers are nervous either about starting with a managed services provider. Are they locked in forever? What if they want to change, or they want to alter the contract, or what support they get? Or they're scared to change managed service providers, right? They may be unhappy with the provider they have today, but they want to change, but they're scared that the process is so time consuming and tedious that they're never going to be able to change. What do you say to people like that?
Well, I think that's a misconception in the industry where, I think it's been one of those things that most managed service providers, when they go through the onboarding process, they're terrible at it. So it takes them 9 months to get you onboarded, and you go through that thought process in your head. Should I switch managed service providers? It was so painful the first time. No, usually it's kind of more based on that was a terrible process that you probably went through the first time. But that's not the way it should be. You can't base the expectation on something like that. For us, we try to offload as much work as possible off the customer. We do the discovery. We're not going to take your other managed service provider's word for what's on the network or what systems you have or what state they're in or all those kind of things. So we handle that automatic discovery. We take care of that piece. We even take care of the piece as far as transitioning from your current vendor to us, and we'll offload that entire process onto our own people. It's a 30-day process when it works with us. So I think a lot of times, there's a fear that it's going to be a big a big lift on them that they don't have time for.
I think one of the questions that I've heard from people and friends in the industry is, should I have to tell my managed services provider that there's an outage, that there's a site down, or there's a problem with wireless, or should they be proactively watching that for me so I don't have to do it for them? Isn't that what I'm paying them for? And I think I hear a lot of people say, I'm constantly I'm calling up and I'm telling them about the problem before they tell me.
Yeah, that's a terrible thing in this industry. I mean, as a managed service, you should be watching after the customer's environment, 24/7 and proactively looking at things, whether it's, circuit issues, things that are flapping, you have port errors, you have, certificates that are going to expire on your servers, whatever it is. Those are all things that are preventable outages. You don't wait until something goes offline to open a ticket on it or to actually try to remediate an issue. And that's the unfortunate fact is, even coming from where, I was previously, they would wait for the network to go down and then call the customer and tell them it was down. And I used to tell everybody, guys, what good is that? That's a complete waste of time. And you don't call the customer to tell them they're out of service. They already know. And if they're calling you, that's even worse. So I make sure that here, that we are monitoring everything all the way down to, whatever kind of service levels or the services that sit behind the switches. We're monitoring the servers. We're monitoring the applications on the servers. We're not just going to ping the server and hope for the best. That's not what we're doing. That's because that's no way to operate. I operate it like the way I'd want my network to be operated.
I think after 20 years of both of us doing this, I think we take a great deal of pride in what we do. I think, as CEO and CTO, we get deeply involved in everything that happens with our customers, right? That high touch, that high value treatment is what they're looking for. And that's why we started BlackHawk Data and why we do what we do.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, you call into the NOC here. The guys that answer the phone, most likely they know you. They'll know the people that work there because there's going to be certain, tickets that are come up or certain issues or, people that have connection issues, maybe they're overseas or whatever. Our staff is very familiar with the clients. If you walk into the NOC right now and you could ask anyone that's sitting in there, rattle off some names of this customer or that customer. Who do they know? That they know people's cell phone numbers, things like that, that they have no problem. Okay, well, this person's having an issue. I'll call their cell, and most of our customers, I think all of our customers actually, they have my cell phone number, and they can text me, call me, whatever they want, because listen, we're here to be an extension of your staff. It's not one of those things where this is a 9 to 5 and then, I up and leave and don't call me after that. That's no way to be in this business.
Not in this business.
No.
Well, I guess, thanks for joining me today. I was glad we got a chance to chat, and this will be helpful for my team and our customers to be able to explain what we do. And thanks everyone for joining us and listening. And we hope to see you next time on our next podcast. Thank you.